Okay, just going to give an orientation for the lab, kind of get a sense of everything and why I do things the way I do. First thing, start off with, we were middle school to begin with when we first opened up, and so we've kind of evolved with the 9th grade to 12th grade engineering programs, and so some of the equipment you see, a little bit left over from that, mostly the workstations. Things like these robotic arms, I got it, one of them was left over from middle school and the other one I pulled from my past junior high school. They both are operational, take a little bit of work, they're not really up and running, at least not student user ready. Anyway, let me just get around and do an overview of everything. My point is I always felt that when you come into a room, you should know what is being taught there by the evidence on the walls. And so when we first started engineering, one of the projects I had my students do was a scale model of an engineering wonder. And so a lot of the projects that you see up on the cupboards here were just that. They were student models. So I taught them how to take scale models or how to take the dimension features and be able to scale it down, and they had to put that within a 2 foot by 2 foot area, and so that's where you get these different ideas. Now the Brooklyn Bridge, I did make an exception for that because it loses its detail really quick if you don't. So anyway, on the top here, we've had some records down through the years. Even though we went to middle school, I've always kept the CO2 car project as a 9th grade project because it just does such a good job of getting the students using the power tools and learning how to use, develop their craftsmanship and their design ability, where they make what they design, not design what they make. And so down through the years, you can see going all the way back to 1997, I've kept the records there from our cars and the students that have done the best on that. I've done the same thing for things like the robotics, the NXT robotics, and the trebuchets. So that might be something you keep or do something on your own, but that's the deal. We've got 26 computers. We can get 25 students in here pretty easy at the different stations. So each of the stations have been set up. So you have the flexibility to be a class-led project, where everybody's doing the same thing on the computers, or you can break it up and have them do the modules where they're doing individual technologies at the computers. I've left that to the seniors over the last few years just because a lot of the modules are pretty complicated, and they take a little bit of maturity to really dig into them and do what you're supposed to do rather than just kind of play around and see what kind of trouble you can get into. But they are good, worthwhile modules. They do take a lot of extra instructor work to make them happen, and essentially the instructor has to know what to expect at each of these stations so that when you get there, you can determine very quickly whether or not they're on task or not. And so there's some strategies they have for that I can share for you a little bit later. Right over here, put this as our awards area. So all the students that have been certified in SolidWorks down through the years for going on the 4th year now. This is 3 years worth of them, and we just certified another 6 or 7 of them. So they would need to go up there. The other junk is mine, and comes from Harry Wong. He says, put your stuff on the wall, put your credentials up so people know you're qualified to do what you're doing. So that's what I've done. But as you look around the room, here's some standards. Here's your rigor relevance framework, little things like that. Some study aids, word wall type stuff. I've built a template for that so that all you need to do is have the students go to the site and get the template off the website, and then you can actually have them do their own word walls with the graphics and the description and what it means, and then use it in context. And one of the things that I've done, trying to get the students to think a little bit more intelligently, is 4 and 5 syllable words. Give them big pat on the back for using larger words and getting away from that thingy or the thingamajig, or yeah, that sort of very indescript type of language that they're fond of using. This room right here is just basically a closet. You know, when the school was first built, it was set up to be a dark room, but right then was when digital photography was coming out, so it really never got used for that, but it is a dark room ready. And if we go in here, you can see I've stored a lot of boxes, and there is some supplies in here. Got a couple chairs that are starting to bite the dust. Need to get with Contracts Furnishings. I actually have the contact information for that. But I've got a little welding needs to be done to fix one, and I got a couple pistons that need to be replaced to fix the other few. They're starting to lose their pneumatic oomph. Of course, it doesn't help when a 300-pound person sits on it, but that's the way it goes. You get what you get.